the traditional Usui master symbol with your symbol trace in hand. And then when you've got it all traced out, guide it down through the crown chakra, through the middle of the brain, and plant in the base of the brain, saying Daikomyo at each step. So Daikomyo as it goes through the crown chakra. Daikomyo as you're guiding it through the through the middle of the brain, and Daikomyo as you plant it in the base of the brain.
So we're doing this all up here and then bring it down.
Right.
Because I keep coming down.
Yeah, you just kind of shrink it down. Perhaps just very much like this. And then you guide it down through the crown chakra, Daikomyo, through the middle of the brain, Daikomyo, and you plant it in the base of the brain, Daikomyo, and build up a very strong visualization of it being. Okay. So let's do that again. Everybody trace a Usui Daikomyo above the top of the person's head. And guide it down through the crown chakra when you're ready, saying its name, through the middle of the head, Daikomyo, and planting it in the base of the brain, Daikomyo, building up a very strong visualization of it being there until you know that it's there to stay, until you know that it's going to stay. Okay, now at this point, touch the person on the left shoulder. You can take your hand away from the back of the neck. Touch the person on the left shoulder. That's their sign to bring their hands up above their head. Ordinarily, in an actual attunement situation, we would have their hands at their heart chakra the entire time. However, since this is a rather lengthy process, we don't want their arms to fall asleep and for this to become painful for them. So we're going to have them down if they'd like. At this point, you touch their left shoulder. They bring their hands up above the top of the head. Then above the top of the hands, you trace out a choku-rei, and you guide it down through the hands, choku-rei, through the crown chakra, choku-rei, and you plant it in the base of the brain, choku-rei. And if you look around, you'll notice that different people have different levels of comfort and mobility in terms of how they raise their hands up above the head. It's best if they can be above the crown chakra directly. However, if someone's more comfortable with their hands more in front or more behind, that's okay too. Just adapt for it. Now the next symbol that you're going to plant, you're going to trace above the top of the hands again. It's a seiheki. So trace a seiheki above the top of the hands. Guide it down through the hands, seiheki, through the crown chakra, seiheki, and plant it in the base of the brain, seiheki.
I learned seiheki, whatever sensation was different. The same we had in the books. I went home and talked about myself last night, but right now I'm...
Okay, well that's fine. Just the one you're more familiar with. For the one that's okay. I wondered, I was trying to figure out which one.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing too.
Okay, after seiheki is planted, trace out a Han Shaze Shonin above the top of the hands. And then guide it down through the hands, Han Shaze Shonin, through the crown chakra, Han Shaze Shonin, and plant it in the base of the brain, Han Shaze Shonin.
So, same thing, crown.
Then after you've planted this symbol and you know that it's stuck and you know that it's going to stay there, guide their hands back down in front of their heart chakra. Reach up and guide their hands down back in front of their heart chakra. And then move around front. And open their hands like a book, placing your non-symbol tracing hand underneath it, kind of like a table. And then on top of the hands, you're going to trace a choku-rei, and you guide it in by lightly touching the hands 3 times, saying its name each time. Choku-rei, choku-rei, choku-rei.
Trace it once and say it 3 times?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the last time I leave my hands touching the person's hands, building up a very strong visualization until I know that the symbol is absolutely there and planet is going to remain there. Then the next symbol that you trace out is a seiheki above the top of the hands. So trace out a seiheki. And guide the symbol in 3 times. Seiheki, touching once. Seiheki, touching twice. Seiheki, touching a 3rd time. And then leave your hands there the 3rd time, visualizing the symbol very strongly in their hands until you know that it's stuck and you know that it's going to remain there. And then the final symbol that we're going to plant into the hands for this attunement procedure is Han-Shaze Shonin. So trace Han-Shaze Shonin out above the top of the hands, and when you've got it traced out, guide it in. Han-Shaze Shonin touching once, Han-Shaze Shonin touching twice, Han-Shaze Shonin touching the 3rd time. This time leaving your hand there, building up a very strong visualization until you know it's planted for good. Now leaving the hands open with your hand underneath the hands, with your non-symbol tracing hand underneath the hands, you're going to take your symbol tracing hand and trace a choku-rei in front of their 3rd eye, so do that now. And then guide it in 3 times. Choku-rei, choku-rei, choku-rei. Alright, you guys are catching them. My brief period of wondering is over. Now do the same thing. Now, if you were doing a 1st degree attunement, that would be the only symbol that you would plant into the 3rd eye. However, this is a 2nd degree attunement, so we're going to also plant a seiheki. So trace a seiheki out in front of the 3rd eye now and guide it in 3 times. Seiheki, seiheki, seiheki.
Everything else was the same for first all the way up till now?
Mm-hmm. And then a Han-Shaze Shonin. Trace a Han-Shaze Shonin out in front of the 3rd eye and guide it in 3 times. Han-Shaze Shonin, Han-Shaze Shonin, Han-Shaze Shonin. Now the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to close the hands up and place them back parallel with the heart chakra. And you're going, thank you, John, and you're going to bend down.
That's great.
Makes a fine easel, the man does. Then you're going to bend down, maintaining contact with the hands. Do not remove your hands from their hands during this procedure. So you bend down in front of them and you're going to do the breath. And again, the tongue is still touching the roof of your mouth at this point. So you're going to blow around the tongue just like you did with the violet breath initially. Now you're going to blow into the hands, then down to the 1st chakra, then up to the crown chakra, back down to the root chakra, and then into the hands in one fluid long breath. Okay? So here we go. Blow into the hands, down to the root chakra, up to the crown chakra, Back down to the root chakra. And into the hands. Now we're going to practice that a couple of more times because obviously conservation of breath didn't register in some of you. Okay, so no visualization. So maintaining contact with their hands, bend down, blow into the hands, down to the root chakra, up to the crown chakra. Back down to the root chakra, and into the hands. All in one breath. Yeah. Practice one more time. Let's see if we can get it. Into the hands, down to the root chakra, up to the crown chakra, back down to the root chakra, and into the hands. Keep contact with their hands, please. Everyone, keep contact with their hands. Let's keep this a rather serious thing and move through it, shall we? Now, move around back. I think we're going to go through this procedure one more time after we're done here. And you're only going to get one shot at each step of it the next time. So, place your hands on their shoulders. Look down through the crown chakra, all the way to the root chakra, and plant the following affirmation there 3 times silently, very strong intent. You are a successful and confident Reiki 2nd degree healer. Now slide your thumbs together at the place where you planted the symbols in the base of the brain. Just like this, like I showed you a few moments ago. Now strongly visualize a choku ray in between your thumbs and the person's skin. And this is a sealing affirmation. Mine goes like this. You can adapt yours to however you'd like. I now seal the 2nd degree attunement perfectly and completely in every way with divine love and light, and release you to the universe as a successful and confident Reiki 2nd degree healer. Again, building up a very, very strong white light choku ray in between your thumbs and the person's skin. This is the part that seals them off from you and taps them into the current. So it's very important that you take your time here and know that that you have sealed the attunement. So take all the time you need when you're actually doing this in practice. If you have any questions, leave it there a little longer and tell everybody until you get the intuition that it's okay. Now slide your hands out back to their shoulders, back out to their shoulders. And this is the thank you. At this point I say, at this time I thank all beings who assisted me with this attunement here today. I ask that you continue to assist this person and also that you continue to assist me. My love to you. And I also add the little ditty about if there are any other energies, attunements, guides, or whatever that this person should be introduced to at this time. I ask that that happen. You can do that, you cannot do that. That's a total add-on. And then move around front. And take an inhale and an exhale, and as you do so, release the tongue on the roof of your mouth and your Hui Yen point, and guide the energy out from those channels through your hands, intending it as a blessing for the client. It's so amusing.
Yeah, the tongue and the roof of the mouth was released when we were blowing a while ago, right?
You hold it for the entire attunement procedure. And that's okay, this is why we go through these things, so that you know what comes where and walking through it.
Is there, when we were doing the inhaling of the breath, I tried both through my mouth and my nose because I do a lot of that kind of stuff through my nose. It really seemed to be the same for me. Does it make a difference? Do you have to do it now?
Probably not. I think it's better to exhale through the nose, so you might as well, or through the mouth, so you might as well inhale through it. So it would make sense to inhale through it too. For shits and giggles. tradition, damn it.
The tradition.
Yeah.
Okay, do your finishing breath, your quick inhale and exhale if you haven't already. And now you do that through the mouth. Okay. Now, move back around back, and we're going to start this procedure all again. We're going to go through it completely from beginning to end in a much more serious manner than we did last time, okay? Much more focused.